Andy, we had some excitement here yesterday, last night particularly, because around 6 o'clock last night it started flurrying and then it
Yeah,
snowed a little bit. We've got a dusting of snow over everything, this pavements, the sidewalks, the ground. Not I'd say it's like a quarter inch, but enough to be excited about, and of course enough to shut down the city. So,
yeah.
um, everything is closed here. Exciting day, Andy.
It
Exciting
is
day
that
going
that
around.
first snow is always pretty exciting. The kids are excited, parents are excited to see the snow. The companies are excited to go out there and clear the snow. It's a fun event. You guys don't get a lot of it, so I'm glad you get a chance to experience this, what feels like long winter.
Andy, and that's all I wanted. Like, I don't need inches and inches of snow. I
Yeah.
don't need that. I just want to have like a snow that covers the ground. My daughter got really excited. She went out and, danced around in it for a little bit last night. She'll go out this morning. That's all I'm looking for, Andy.
Yeah, hey, like President Trump, you just want everything covered in white. That's good. Good for you.
Fair enough, Andy. Fair enough. All right, let's get into our discussions. Andy, I said before the meeting, I have no idea where we're going to go today. So, we'll just start with this, Andy. It looks like both your offensive and defensive coordinators are going to be gone
Yeah.
from the Detroit Lions. Was it officially that Johnson is now with the Bears? I keep hearing that it's reported he signed a contract, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything exactly.
Yeah, no, it's official. Ian Rappaport, I think, confirmed it yesterday.
Okay.
Thanks for starting out, going right to my heart with pain and suffering. Yeah, Ben Johnson's officially gone. Aaron Glenn isn't officially gone. He's still interviewing, but there's also like Ben Johnson reportedly got the Bears to pay him 13 million a year to be
This
their
is
head
great.
coach. So, I mean,
How desperate are the Bears? No, no offense to Ben Johnson, but how desperate is that? Like you're really going hard on that.
yeah, look, Ben Johnson's he's a very good coach. I would want to coach the Bears. $13 million. I understand now why Ben Johnson's coaching the Bears. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
it's disappointing. I mean, he's been a great coach for Detroit. I wish he wasn't staying in the division. I think all Lions fans just wish he'd leave the division. I prefer he left the NFC. I think he had a great potential fit in, the Jags and Vegas. But listen, the Bears are a desperate team that want to win. They brought in Caleb Williams. They think they've got some talent. They think they just need the right coach. They're giving him the good payday. Hey, look, I hope the Lions beat him twice a year, every year, forever. But otherwise, good luck to you, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, this is that struggle. Let's see now the great offensive coordinator. Um, does he become a great head coach? This is like things that you don't see too often because
Yeah,
again, these coordinators, these especially the offensive and defensive coordinators, they're really focused on one part of the ball. And the head coach, obviously, you got to do everything, special teams, training, all this other stuff. So it'll be fun to watch this play out. And then Aaron Glenn looks like he might be at the Jets. There was some scuttlebutt that he might come to the Cowboys. We're not smart enough for that, Andy. I dismissed that right away because I think the Cowboys are leaning to their co I don't offensive coordinator. I don't know what Schottenheimer is. There was some buzz about him several years ago. I thought he kind of just went away, but I guess he's been on the Cowboys staff for 10 years. So of course that's what Jerry is probably looking for. So from my side, like there's like I can't believe we're 2 weeks from the end of the regular season. We're 1 week away from firing our head coach or not or parting ways with our head coach, and we don't have anything here. No
yeah,
news on the prime, what's going to happen with Dion. So who knows with the Cowboys?
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the challenge of being even a minute late into the hiring game is everybody else is already running, and they're talking to people, and the Cowboys are just kind of like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Who are you going after? Maybe there's something going on. Maybe there's some, discussion happening. But yeah, I feel for the Cowboys right now. This seems like, I mean, rudderless organization. But with Aaron Glenn, he played 8 years, I think it was, with the Jets. That's where he,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
he proved himself as a smaller but very successful cornerback. It'd be great to see him go back. Look, I long cheered for the Jets as I long cheered for the Lions, not as my team, but just as a club that like. needed to get better, right? And the only reason that I don't cheer for them is because they've got the plague of Aaron Rodgers currently going on there, and their ownership seems like a bunch of goofs. But I don't care about their ownership really. I'd like to see them do well. I think they screwed Robert Saleh and getting rid of him the way they did. I don't think they should have gotten rid of him. I hope they treat Aaron Glenn better if he ends up there. But I really like that fit. It's going to be a tough job. I hope he can get rid of Aaron Rodgers sooner rather than later. And I really wish him the best of luck. I love the player coach, Dave. We talked about this before. Like that's it's the contrast between Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Like Ben Johnson, technically genius, excellent. Can he motivate players? We'll see.
Yeah.
Can he get them to go as a head coach? We'll see. But Aaron Glenn, like he can, like he's a player coach. Like he knows how to get inside those players' heads, how to get them fired up. Can he coach at the high level? I mean, I think he can. He has in Detroit. We'll see. Like I'm excited for both those guys to have great careers, hopefully.
I mean, coaches are a lot like quarterbacks in this respect that it really depends on the organization that you fall into. I
Yeah,
mean, like if the owner sucks, and look, the Jets, I mean, they've had a good run when Parcells was there, but yeah, I mean, you got to go back to Joe Namath had 1 year, and for some reason, this organization has just been like that. The Cowboys, look at the Cowboys. I mean,
yeah,
look, I mean, we've had good head coaches. We just haven't had an ownership that's really been in that same respect. And so good luck to Aaron Glenn wherever he winds up. But that owner coach marriage, just like the coach quarterback marriage, is so important. So
yeah.
good luck to these individuals who go out. Hopefully they'll have a good run and do things. Andy, did you see the national championship game on Monday by any
I,
chance?
I was watching a little bit on my phone as I was sitting. I didn't really care because I don't really follow college football, but I was marginally paying attention to a game and two teams I don't care about.
Yeah, not many people did care about the game
Yeah,
other than like Ohio State and Notre Dame, obviously. But I watched it. It was, Ohio State dominated the game
yeah,
for the most part. I mean, Notre Dame came out and they had an 18 play, like 9 minute drive to start the game that scored a touchdown. Everyone's like, oh my God, Notre Dame's here to play. I mean, they didn't have 30 yards until the end of the third quarter then after that drive. They made it close at the end and there was Ohio State made a play to seal the deal, but really this was a different class of teams, I think, in a
yeah.
lot of respects. But this goes to my point. It's like money buys, right? Ohio State paid $20 million in NIL reportedly for this team. And they lost their traditional like biggest game of the year against Michigan and still won the national title. So
Yeah.
Ohio State fans good with that? That's the new normal though, I think. These traditional rivalry games really don't matter anymore. Yeah, you still want to win them, but I mean, as long as you're in the playoff at the end of the year, you got a shot to win the title. I mean, Penn State, my favorite team, of course, um, they have a lot of people coming back to their team this year. It's not because they have unfinished business, mind you. It's because I can guarantee you they're paying an ass load of money
Yeah.
to players. Like they're one of their best running backs, Singleton. I thought for sure he was going to go pro, but he came back. And look, I'm sure he wants to win a national championship. It also probably helps that he's probably getting a couple $1 million here.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a different game, Dave. It's a different game, college football, as we've talked about a few times. And I think one of the, I mean, separately, I think with the Ohio State win, I think one thing I saw was it's like one of the very rare times that national rivals win back-to-back years. And you mentioned Ohio State losing to Michigan in the
yeah,
regular
yeah.
season. Michigan, of course, winning last year before Harbaugh left, and Ohio State coming in this year. Good to see. I mean, Ohio State's one of those consistently great, college football teams. I think they're always in the running. But Dave, what do you think of the college playoff? I mean, you follow this much more closely than I did. It did feel sort of like a letdown with the championship game. I think people weren't as interested as they might have been. But what was a playoff success this year?
I thought it was great. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Look. The national championship game notwithstanding, I mean, this is what happens. I mean, it happens in the NFL. Look at what's going on in the NFC right now. Eagles versus Commanders. Look, I'm proud. Like both good teams. Neither one of them, I think, stand a chance against the AFC, the Bills or the Chiefs. I don't think. I think the Eagles will be better, but. like that's not exactly a matchup anybody wants, but that's what we're getting. And I think that's the nice thing about the playoff is there are like the first round games were a little bit of a bust. The second round games were a lot like were better.
Yeah.
And then the semifinal games I thought were excellent. And so like for 4 weeks, I was really engaged, excited. I was watching all of those games. I thought it was a success. And I think it is changing the landscape. But I thought for the like they're going to make some tweaks. The seating is going to change a little
Yeah.
bit next year, I'm sure. But look, I thought it was a great playoff. So kudos to college football for finally getting it right.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the NFL more on Friday, but I've got to strongly disagree with your quick assessment there, sliding in that the NFC has no chance against the AFC. But we'll save that day for Friday. We'll
Okay.
circle back to that.
Fair enough, Andy. Fair enough. Okay, Andy, let's go to our second topic. We went a little long on that one, so maybe we'll shorten this one because I really don't want to talk too long about this topic. But Andy, we're 3 days into the new Trump administration, and I mean the it's going like it's already craziness all around. Like, did Elon Musk do the Hail Hitler sign at the inauguration?
He did do it. I mean, he did do
Yeah.
it. He can say whatever he wants. He did do it.
Yeah, he did it not once, he did it twice,
Yeah.
Andy. I mean, like there, and look, everyone's like, well, he's a little bit on the spectrum, so we got to excuse that kind of behavior. No, actually, we don't. We don't have to excuse that behavior. So there's a little of that, Andy. But I think the big thing right now is the January 6th pardons that President Trump gave out. Over 1,500 people were pardoned, and a lot of it was, some of them served time. They did their time and so on and so forth. But there were a lot of ones that were serving multiple years, 10 years, 5 years, 8 years in prison. Everything was, they were all pardoned, Andy. I've got a lot of problem with this. And to hear the former, or no, I can't say the former president, he's the president, to hear the president talk about this now, um, it's clear I don't even know what to think about it. It's fucking embarrassing. It sends really the wrong signal in so many different ways. I mean, he used the excuse of they served their time already, we're just gonna pardon them. And oh, by the way, the prisons are deplorable. Have you seen the conditions that these people are in?
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. Like I mean, I don't even know where to go with a lot of this, but it's disgusting. These individuals they weren't rioting on the city street and vandalizing and looting property. That happens a lot. These individuals were intent on overturning an election at the behest of at the time, the 45th president and now the 47th president. They
Yeah.
were doing it for him. There is clear documentation that has proven this with evidence over evidence, and we're just going to allow that to occur. I've got a lot of problems here, Andy.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's a lot to object to. Look, I mean, I think he was called out pretty well. There's a number of people commenting on this. I'm just going to read this part off. Like the reporter says to Donald Trump last night, you'd agree it's never acceptable to assault police officers, and Trump says, sure. The reporter says, among those you pardoned is a guy who used a stun gun on a police officer. Why does he deserve a pardon? And Trump's response is, well, I don't know. Well, that's exactly it.
yeah,
Like, this is throwing red meat to his supporters, right? It like maybe some folks you can argue should be pardoned, maybe, but I mean, really, every one of these individuals has like gone through the legal process, right? It's not like they were
right.
just thrown in jail and kept as political prisoners, right? They went through a deliberate political process. Like, I think some people forgot what January 6th looked like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's pretty remarkable, not unexpected. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on him to do this for almost everybody. There was a lot of chatter with Trump supporters that like if he didn't, there is going to be there's going to be a lot of pissed
What
off people.
what are they going to riot, Andy? I mean,
Yeah,
are they
yeah,
going to riot on the Capitol? I
yeah.
mean,
But I mean, it is what it is. Not unexpected. This is just you know
um,
the back and forth of the press. Dave, something popped out at me. I shared this last night in a comment. When President Trump was making his inauguration speech, he talked about the mandate that he had from the American people,
yeah,
and it got me thinking because like you hear politicians say that shit all the time, right? That they have a mandate for change, a mandate for this. They almost never have a mandate, right? So in back, the only mandate that I can clearly recall is Ronald Reagan, 1984, when the electoral map was all red except for the state of Minnesota. Reagan won that election by like 17 million votes with only, 100 million people voting, not even, right? I mean, he dominated that election. He crushed Walter Mondale. That was a mandate. Donald Trump won less than 50% of the popular vote, right? He won 49.8% of the popular vote. If you don't even win half the country, it's not a mandate, right? You won an election, you're the winner, you're the president, but you don't have a mandate, right? America did not vote for radical policies. This is a radical administration, right? It's not a conservative administration, it's a radical administration. The agenda that Donald Trump is putting out there is not what the majority of Americans wanted. And even with that percentage that of support that he got, like not all 49.8% were saying we want radical change. They're saying we prefer you given our current slate of candidates, right? We're trusting you with the White House and the country. They weren't voting for radicalization. And this is an extreme administration that is ruling as though it had a mandate of some kind. It definitely does not. And that just contributes to further divisiveness in this country. So, whether it's excusing, criminal behavior inexplicably, or some of the other things that are being promised, by the current president, it's a challenging time because he doesn't have that genuine support of the nation, of some of the nation for sure. He won the election, but it's not this.
Yeah, and look, I do agree that like some people are supportive of his policies at the surface level. It's when it does go to that radical extreme
Yeah,
that like, wait a second, I'm not quite there, I'm not quite ready for that. And I think as these things play out and as he brings these things to fruition, people are going to have that visceral reaction, I believe, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's already been a concerning, like I'm sitting there like, here we go. Like, here we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
4 years. Well, actually, we got to make it two because I think when the midterms come around, we'll see how things change, if they change at all. It was interesting. I just continue to reflect back and look at the Republican Party, the party of law and order. You can't argue that anymore.
Yeah,
The party of strong foreign policy, you can't argue that anymore.
yeah,
I mean, this is a radically different Republican Party. It's never going to be that same party again. But political parties change. We've talked about that in the past. The Democrats used to be one way and now they're the other. So we'll see how all this plays out. But it just makes me reflect. You brought up Reagan. I'm like, the Reagan Republicans, those are that's a dead breed, Andy.
oh yeah,
So
yeah. That's gone.
yeah.
That's,
Okay. Uh,
hey,
uh,
just one more point, David. I mean, just one
yeah.
more. Like Elon Musk rendered a Nazi salute. Just I just want to be
Yeah.
clear. Like, I don't mean, like he can say whatever he wants, and excusing autism like that's like nonsense. Like that's
Yeah.
absolute bullshit. Like there's no connection there. Autism doesn't mean you flash random Nazi salutes. And the idea of it being a Roman salute, like there's no evidence that Romans actually used that salute. It was captured from art in the 1700s and embraced by Mussolini and Hitler. And you don't flash that like unknowingly. Like you can't tell me you're the smartest men in the world, and then you get up in front of all of your supporters and you accidentally, repeatedly flash a Nazi salute. And if you're so stupid that you genuinely did do that, right, without thinking of how that could excite certain parts of the population, right? We talked about this before, Dave, where leaders make statements or signal, and whatever their actual beliefs and intentions are, they're exciting certain people to action, right? That's exactly what Elon Musk did. It was disgusting, right? So whatever excuses he wants to come up with, his fanboys want to come up with, like that was a Nazi salute, intentional or otherwise. It was intentional in my belief, and it was disgusting to see. Like it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I will tell you, it reminds me of a lot of, look, he was clearly energized. He was clearly like excited because if you watch the lead up, he's really pumped up and all this stuff, and he makes those motions. And again, that's his emotions getting the better of him because he did something he knows he should not have done, but he did it in public because he's so excited, which tells me he's done that in private a lot more.
Yeah,
It's indicative that he's done this in but he just got so carried away, he got so excited that it transitioned to like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that in
Yeah.
public, but I
Yeah.
did. So, all interesting. So, look, this is what the country voted for, so this is what we look to at this
Yeah.
point. So,
Super.
I know, super wunderbar. So I saw some really good reels on this, Andy. It was kind of fun. People mocking like different types of offensive, sticking the middle finger up, and how this is no, that means just pointing upward to lift the elevator or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, Andy, we've gone over on that segment, so we got a little bit shorter segment here. Andy, two kind of exciting Marvel events coming up here in the next couple months here. Captain America, Brave New World. The trailers keep coming out on this one. This is coming out on Valentine's Day, so take your lovely bride to go see Brave New World, Andy, on that date night. And then also on the TV side, there's Daredevil, Born Again, Andy.
Yeah.
This is a continuation. Daredevil was originally on Netflix,
Yep.
and I think it did 3 seasons, very popular with the fans. It didn't stop, and then now is being born again on um, on Disney Plus for a new season, continuation of that story. So, Annie, first question: are you excited about these two events?
I am. I'm excited about both. I'm excited about both.
Were you original Daredevil TV show fan?
Yeah, yeah, we watched it, we enjoyed it. It was of that sort of group of shows. There was Jessica Jones, Iron Fist. I can't remember if Power Man was a standalone or not, but
And
uh,
Agents of Shield there too,
Agents
and
of Shield. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like Daredevil was the best one. He was the coolest character. It was really well done. Really good casting for the roles.
yeah. So I did not watch Daredevil, but I watched the trailer for this. It looks very violent, Andy,
Yeah.
in a lot of respects. I might have to go back and watch through the old Daredevil, but this looks like it's a little bit different than the campy type of superhero type of fun stuff. Seems a little on the darker side.
It is, and like the guy that plays Kingpin, I forget the actor's name. Like he does a good
D'Onofrio.
job. Yeah, he does a good job, and he plays this, bad guy, right? And like the dynamic between them, it's very good. It's very good. It is violent. It is dark. It sort of plays on his Catholic faith as the Daredevil always has. It's sort of like this dynamic that he has as he's trying to figure out who he is and how he does things, and it's fun to watch. It was good. I'm excited they're bringing it back. I think people really wanted it. We had a little teaser, in Spider-Man when Matt Murdock came to represent Peter Parker. And now they're doing this, and they're going to bring back some of the other costumes. Daredevil was famous in his yellow costume, which was kind of cheesy but cool. And they showed a couple others in a little sneak peek preview. So I'm very excited about it. It's going to be really good.
Okay, so I might have to watch this one. Where are you standing on Captain America: Brave New World?
Can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're planning to see it. I don't think we're going to see it on Valentine's Day, but we're going to see it. We're excited about it. I mean, look, I know some fans are going nuts because they think that Red Hulk is barely going to be in the movie, and they really want Red Hulk to be in the movie. We'll see, but Harrison Ford's going to be in there. Red Hulk is going to be in there. I'm excited about Anthony Mackie, embracing his Captain America character. Kind of a cheesy piece. Like I don't love the Falcon Captain America mix. I wish he'd just like
Yeah.
be full on Captain America and like ditch the wings. But he's not Steve Rogers, right? He's not the super serum guy. So he's got this other sort of, you know, strength to him. But I like the cast. I think it's gonna be a fun movie. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so it does build upon what was it, the Falcon and the
Yeah.
Winter Soldier
Yep.
TV show, but I don't think you need to watch the TV show to really get. I mean, there is one character that was introduced in the TV show that is it looks to be a bigger part, his sidekick in the movie. So I'm excited to watch it. Look, I like Anthony Mackie. I always thought his character, the Falcon, was a little cheesy, but I think he was somewhat underplayed in the movies too. But he really was Captain's buddy, so I'm excited to watch it. The Red Hulk part, I'm just like I don't understand the story behind it, so I'm gonna have to do some research on it. But look, I think it looks exciting what I liked about Captain America, the original Captain America movies was I liked the Winter Soldier movie. That
Yeah,
was my favorite one because it was like a political drama type of thing as well. Like there's a really good story there. This looks like the same thing. It looks like there's a really good story. So I'm hoping it's more of that. So we'll see how that plays out though, Andy.
yeah,
So
I think you'll like it. I think like I mean, Red Hulk, it's right out of the comics. I think you'll enjoy it.
yeah, all right. All right, Andy. So I didn't know where we were going to go in the beginning, and there we went.
Here we went.
We
Yeah,
went through our core areas and good stuff. It is going to be with football wrapping up here, Andy. I hate to think about it, but we'll get through the February through August time frame like we did last year. But man, I am going to miss football.
yeah, yeah. There's still some football to enjoy, and we will enjoy it. But yeah, it's going to be different for sure. It's just it's America's sport, Dave.
Yeah, yeah, it is. We'll talk more about football on Friday, Andy. Let's give our predictions for who's going to be in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and we'll work from there, Andy. So,
Looking forward to it, Dave. Enjoy your snow. Happy snow day for Charlotte, North Carolina, and thanks to anybody who's listening with us on this January 22nd, the third day of the ascendancy of Donald Trump, our hero and savior.
on that happy note, I noticed a Metallica shirt, Andy. That's good. Good
Yeah, well,
pull.
I mean, it's Lions shirts all season long, but now that's done, we rotate it up a little bit, so we get to dig out some of our other enjoyable garb.
There we go. There we
Best
go.
album, best Metallica album, Ride the Lightning. My favorite song is fans' least favorite song, but I love the song, love the album. 1984
I,
classic.
It is definitely a good one. It is a good one. That's one of my like. If I really like when I first heard Metallica, I was like, I don't know. I'm not so sure. But
Yeah,
this guy I used to bum a ride with off in high school, he was into he got into like a heavy metal thing, and so we started listening to Metallica, and that album is just from it's awesome, and
yeah,
it'll get you pumped up. That's for
yeah,
sure. So,
yeah, yeah. All right, well, go
all
enjoy
right,
the
Ian,
rest of the day.
we'll wrap up on that one, and we'll catch up with you on Friday.